You know what? Let's do that now. Let's do that now. We already here. Let's go ahead and go through each of it. I guess I'll just have to break it up into separate sections so I don't feel like it's too long. So we're gonna go through features real quick. Let's clear all. Matter of fact, let me turn on. All right. So for the most part, a lot of times when it comes to Google phones, they're gonna be exactly the same. I don't have to feel like, or you have to feel like if you're going from a 6 to a 4 or whatever, a lot of your setup process is going to be the same, especially when you go into settings. So we're going to go into our settings real quick. This is a quick way to go to settings. Just drag down again, and you're going to see this settings wheel. But before we do that, let's do something else. So you see what you have here. You can actually adjust. Um, you can adjust this whole tile here. And you can do that by hitting a ink pen, and it'll allow you to decide which tiles you want. So say for example, you want to remove, like for here, I'm probably going to use flashlight on this particular phone. So I can go ahead and drag that down here and maybe drag up nightlight. I'm probably going to use nightlight a lot more. So let's bring that up. Let's bring it up here. And we'll hit done. Back. Now, there it is. Now we'll go back here. I wanted to redo something. So the first, looks like 1, 2, 3, okay, first 8. So the first 8 here will be on page 1. The second 8 will be on page 2. Now, if you decided to have them all on there, then you have 3 pages. If you decide to only have just those 8, you'll have 1 page or 1 page. So if depending on which of these you want to use in which order, obviously the first 8 will be on page 1, the second 8 will be on page 2. You can adjust that to decide where on the page, if that makes sense, that it will be when you go look at that. So let's go back, and you'll see that adjustment changed my page. So we're done with that. Now let's go into settings. Now, once you go into settings, this will be where you would change and adjust your Wi-Fi. If you needed to connect some Bluetooth headphone or Bluetooth headphones, you can click on that, and you can adjust or add your Bluetooth or device. Like for example, I have a Charge 3, which is my Fitbit. I have my gym headsets. I have work earbuds, and then the third one, it was like given as a gift, so I paired it. And most time I barely use it, but I have them all set up. So this is where you can use and connect your devices, and it's pretty simple or straight and sorry. It's pretty simple to set that up to pair a new device. You'll hit pair new device, and they'll start looking for the device. Once it finds it, you'll click on it, and it'll ask you, what the passcode is. Like for example, let's say I want to pair my Pix 6 Pro. It's probably not gonna allow me to, but let's just do it for giggles. And then if you want to pair that, you can. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. Boom. That will be how you do it. And let's go to the next thing in settings. Apps. So this is what didn't want to do that. Apps. This is where you would go where you can decide to, let's look at the default apps. This is where you go, let's say for example, instead of if you also installed Firefox or another browser, and you don't want Chrome to be a browser, you can actually go in there and change that to another browser, which I don't have another browser. The same thing will be if you decide to say, you know what, I don't like the Google phone app. I want to use some third-party phone app from the store. Boom. Same, and you can do this with SMS messaging. I got Signal, and for some people, when you install these phones, you may have Verizon Wireless SMS or whatever. This is where you will go to change that from messaging or Google's messaging services to something else. So that's how you would do that. Now, the flip side of that will be, let's just say you used or you installed a third-party messaging app. You accidentally clicked that and it made it your default, and you're like, okay, this I don't want this to be my default anymore. Now, you can just click on messaging or that SMS message app from Google, and you can change it there. But there's another way you could change it as well. So let's continue on. Is there anything else? If you wanted to change your home app, let me see. I don't have anything else on that one. So we'll go ahead and back out of that. Let's see, assistant, game settings. I didn't know this was on the Pixel 6. So we'll play around with that one. But I guess you could go ahead and turn on to show game on the dashboard and do not disturb for games. Okay. It's actually a nice little feature. Go back. Screen time. Okay. Actually, this just tell you how much screen time. So now let's go back because I want to show another thing that I think a number of people are going to maybe want to adjust. I'll get to that in a second. I'm going to go back in order. So notifications, let's look at that. And here you can decide, and depending on your phone, how you want your notifications. Like this one gives me notification bubbles. This does as well. And it gives it for certain apps. So this is where you can turn that on and turn that off. What else?